Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat and I make friendship bracelet tutorials for beginners. Today we're gonna be making this beautiful fishbone bracelet. I'm not sure what it's called. It is different than the fishbone bracelet because as you can see, it has negative space. It has holes in the pattern. It might look like that's difficult if you've never done this before, but it's actually a lot easier than you think. If you've made a chevron bracelet before, it's very similar to that. So you're gonna need 16 strings, 4 different colors, 4 of each color, and they should each be the length of your wingspan. I know that sounds like really long, but this bracelet does eat up a lot of length. So once you have your strings cut, you are going to arrange them like this. I'll put a picture of how they should be arranged so you could just pause the video, arrange your strings and tape them down. And when you tape them down, you want to have them all be separate. That way when you're tying, your strings don't pull out so easily. So if you have all your strings arranged, we will get to the tutorial. I almost forgot to mention, this bracelet includes forward knots and backward knots. If you're not familiar how to do those knots, I do have a video explaining it and I will leave that in the description. It's like a 5-minute video, but I won't be explaining how to do the knots in this video because I don't want to waste people's time who already know how to do it. So just go ahead and watch that video if you don't know and hop back to this. I did already start this bracelet, as you can see, but it's the same in the beginning starting the bracelet as it is where I'm going to be starting. So just ignore all this and pretend it's at the top because it's all the same. First thing to keep in mind for this bracelet is we're going to be working in halves. So this will be the middle, this is the first half, and this is the second half. So first you're going to grab your first string all the way to the left, and we're going to be doing forward knots on every single string until this string is in the middle. So, and just remember, forward knots, all knots actually, are to be tied twice for it to be a complete knot. So 1, okay, so I've completed all my forward knots and now my green string is in the middle and I've created this stripe. Now we're going to be doing the same thing on the flip side. So the last string, this time because it's reversed, we're going to be doing backward knots on every single one of these strings until we get right here. So this pink will be the last knot. So here's a backward knot, 1, 2. Okay, that's the last backward knot. So now I have my 2 greens in the middle and we're gonna do a forward knot. You can do forward or backward. I'm going to do a forward knot. And that's just gonna join these 2 together to form this chevron stripe. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again with these greens. Okay, and I just want to mention that we are doing knots on the greens that are now in the middle from our first V. So now we have these 2 greens in the middle from our second chevron stripe, and we're going to join those with a forward knot. And that completes this V. So it's a double chevron stripe every time. And now for the fun part. Now we're going to be doing these little chains. So each pair of strings is together. We're going to be starting with the left half first with these greens. Okay, and it's going to be the same thing for each pair. So first you're going to grab your string on the left and do a forward knot on your string on the right. 1, 2. Okay. Now with our new string on the left, we're going to do a forward knot on this string. Just to be clear, you're not doing 2 forward knots with the same string because they switch places. We're going to do the same thing to each pair on the left side. Forward knot, and then we put that string down, and then forward knot with this string. 1, 2. I'm going to do that to these pairs as well. Okay, so I've done the same thing to each of the pairs on the left side, and we have these little chains. By the way, if you're wondering how my strings are staying so orderly, it's because I have tape down here and I'm sticking them to it. That's a little filming hack. I wouldn't do that on a bracelet that I was just making because it makes the strings like fuzzy when you take it off, but I think it helps for doing videos because it's just like easier to see what's going on for you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing to the right side, except instead of doing forward knots, we're going to be doing backward knots. So I have my first pair. I'm going to grab my string on the right, the one that is outer, and I'm going to do a backward knot. Okay, and now that string is on the left, and I'm going to take this string and do a backward knot on this one. All right, then I'm going to do the same thing to each of these pairs. All right, so I have done the same thing to each pair, and I have all my chains, and guys, that's it. Now you're just going to repeat what I've already told you. So you would grab your first string down here, do the forward knots to the middle, same thing on the other side with backward knots, and meet it with a forward knot to make your double chevron. I do want to mention that we've already done 2 knots here, and so you're going to be doing a third forward knot of these colors to begin your chevron. Yeah, you're just gonna repeat that over and over again until your bracelet is to your desired length, and it will look something like this. If you have any questions or issues, if anything is tripping you up, just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible and do my very best to help you out. I usually get back to comments within 24 hours, so don't hesitate to ask. I want to help you guys out. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my YouTube channel. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos that I post. And if you have any requests for friendship bracelet tutorials you'd like to see, leave it down in the comments and I'll be sure to make it for you. And I'll also give you a little shout out when I post the video. Bye guys, love you.